Well, good morning, everyone. This is Wednesday, December the 18th. And December the 18th plays a special role in today's WWW Wednesday Walking with the Word, because once we hit December 17th, we go by those actual number days with particular readings, especially the gospel that takes us up to the point of Jesus's birth at Christmas. And today, the gospel that we hear is when the angel comes to St. Joseph and gives him that particular instruction, because Joseph is a little confused, and we hear about the sort of underpinnings of Joseph, that he's this good and righteous man, and that he was going to divorce Mary quietly, but the angel comes to him in a dream and brings him the revelation of God. And one of the things that we see in both Mary and Joseph is that they have this openness to the Lord and what the Lord is going to do in and through them. With the angel Gabriel, when Mary comes to her, she wants to know more. How can this be? Tell me how this is happening. And the angel reveals this to her. And with Joseph, he has this intention of what he thinks is the right thing, but he still has an openness to God. God, direct me. And the angel comes and says, you are going to be the foster father of the Son of God. And I think that brings up a very interesting point. I don't know if I've made that in the past, but there's a difference between Joseph being called the stepfather of Jesus and the foster father. Joseph is not Jesus' stepfather, okay? There wasn't, the first father and then the sort of partial father that came afterwards. From the beginning of time, it was God's will that Joseph would be the foster father, the earthly father of Jesus. And so with that foster father title and role, there was an intentionality that Joseph would have this place to be the one who would guide Jesus on earth. Of course, he taught him how to be a carpenter, but rather, more important, he taught him how to be a good man. And so Joseph had that openness to, okay, I'm going to be his foster father. This is what I'm called to do, and now I'm going to go and do it. And so he wakes up from the dream after the angel speaks to him, and he goes and he does this. And when we look at Joseph as this righteous man, and his intentionality is to do what God wants of him. When he starts out with that thought that he's going to divorce Mary quietly, in his mind, he thought that this was the best thing. Sort of reminds me of Thomas Aquinas's definition of conscience, the last best thing one ought to do in a given situation. This is what he thought as a good and righteous man, and to do good by Mary, to do good by the law as a faithful Jewish man. But then God comes and opens up a new doorway for him and says, Joseph, this is what I need you to do. This is who I need you to be. And I think that that's the thought for us, is that while we can have our conscience well formed, which we should, and be open, and do what we think is right, we also have to be open to those promptings of the Lord, so that if the Lord comes to us and says, there's a different way, a way you may not have conceived, and here is where you are to go. This is what you are to do. I think that's a beautiful lesson that Joseph teaches us today. Use our conscience, be faithful, but also be open to the Lord, because he will always guide us faithfully. My friends, this has been your next installment of WWW Wednesday Walking with the Word. Guess what? Special Christmas edition next week. So we'll see you then. God bless and have a great day.